back to One Girl in the Frying Can podcast. Bobby, do the jig you always do. Oh, there it is. Welcome back to the podcast. It's me, Dan and Bob.
Dan.
I'm the one entity, two names. It's like those weird people that have two first names, and you're like, you can't trust them.
Dude.
John Albertson, more like serial killer number 3 on my list.
Dude, I'm telling you, if you're okay, there's certain first names that you can have that make having a second first name as your last name okay. But like say if your first name's Colin, if your name's like Colin Mike, you're might as well just be a serial killer.
Yeah, I don't, and I love the idiots that try and hide their last name being a first name with like Albertson or Johnson. It's like, we know you're trying.
Yeah.
You're not slick. We get it.
I have to agree with that. I mean, when people have two first names though, I feel like that's a setup for like a sports career.
That's true. Yeah, you could definitely make it big in baseball. Yeah, if you have like a John Adams, Mike Adams, you're definitely like, you're batting 6. You're playing second base. You're okay. You're not the best, but you'll probably make an all-star game at least once in your career.
If your name's Tyler David, you play shortstop.
Tyler David, definitely shortstop.
Definitely shortstop.
Like a Brandon Johnson. That's a pitcher.
Yeah.
Well, there's Randy Johnson. He was very good.
Well, I mean, if you add the son, that kind of makes it a last name, though.
No, but it's like you're just trying to hide it because you're embarrassed. You're trying to get. Okay, no. How about this? I'm guessing Randy Johnson's initial name was Randall John, but after murdering and hiding the bodies incredibly well, he was like, I want to start a new life. What should I go with?
Well,
and then he did Randy Johnson.
Do you actually know why some of our last name or popular, I guess Caucasian or European last names have son afterwards?
Because it's the son of.
Yeah, exactly. Which it took me so long to put 2 and 2 together on that. Like literally the last name Richardson, for instance, at one point was literally just because a guy named Richard had a kid. And I don't know, his name was Billy Bob, and they'd be like, he's Billy Bob Richardson, son of Richard, or Billy Bob Richardson, and then it became Billy Bob Richardson.
Well, I mean, what about like people with the last name like Dickinson?
Dick? Well, okay, Dick Inson is like that could have just been like an actual last name, you know?
Maybe. I guess you're onto something. Maybe I'm wrong. I mean, while we're on the topic of sports, did you catch the Super Bowl at all? You're not a big football boy.
So, I, as you know, am not a very big sports person. Mm-hmm. However, I usually do watch the Super Bowl because there's at least a team that I know playing.
Yeah.
However, this one was the Chiefs and the 49ers?
Yeah.
All right, the only thing I know about the 49ers is that I didn't want them to win strictly because there was so many people on my timeline that wanted them to win. And they were so obnoxious about it. They were like, this our year, baby. We've been lying in wait. They didn't see us coming. And I'm like, what does this even mean? Like, why do you keep saying we so aggressively here?
I mean, that's all like sports fans.
Which I understand. It's just like they were posting pictures of them decked out in like a freaking San Francisco freaking puffball hat, a freaking 49ers jersey, like official 49ers sweat. Like, I'm telling you, every person that supported the 49ers on my timeline posted some form of 49ers merch as well.
Well, they got to pop off, I guess. But
not for the Chiefs.
Well, some did. Spoiler alert, Chiefs won.
Chiefs did win. I did hear that. Let's see. Did I hear? I heard it was actually a really good game, though.
It was a good game. I enjoyed majority. It was weird because it's like the first half went by so fast, and the second half felt like it took an eternity.
That's football, right?
Yeah, that's how it always goes.
I saw a post online that's actually funny that football is one of those games that where no matter the time on the clock, you can always say there's still a whole lot of game left.
Yep, entirely.
And honestly, after the few times I've watched football, that is damn well the case too.
It's a football guy thing to do, to say there's a whole lot of game left. But
yeah.
People that don't care about football were happy about a halftime show because it was Shakira and J-Lo.
Shakira and J-Lo. So I heard it was pretty sexualized.
It was good, yeah.
And I've seen some clips. There was a lot of booty. There was some revealing clothing. There was some tongue movements, some lip biting. And the quote outrage about it was very funny because literally I read one article about it and it was like a mom news site, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
the I don't want to call it just BuzzFeed, but kind of like, the BuzzFeed Yahoo News type of sites.
Yeah.
And it was literally like someone slamming these two, Shakira and
Jennifer Lopez.
Jennifer Lopez.
J-Lo.
J-Lo
Sorry.
slamming their performance for being overly sexualized, saying like, "Gosh, the Super Bowl used to be family friendly," and then someone just responded with a picture of
Levine?
Adam Levine shirtless from last year's,
Oh, yeah.
and they're like, "Oh yeah, family friendly, definitely."
You can see his boobies.
Yeah, so like that's kind of what I like enjoyed, that there was a lot of like articles about this quote outrage, but then in reality people are like, no, the halftime shows have not been tame.
Yeah.
Have not always been tame.
And it's like as if Shakira and J-Lo have been doing that majority of their careers.
Yeah,
Like they pop off for it. Like
Yeah.
that's why Shakira's hips don't lie.
hell yeah. I mean, I guess it's more like people were going out of their way to create an issue when there didn't need to be.
Yeah, but it was like the best halftime show in a long time. It was actually like genuinely entertaining.
Yeah.
But game was good. My favorite thing out of all of it though was Trump tweeted out that the state of Kansas was very proud of Kansas City. Which, I mean, common mistake to think Kansas City is in Kansas. But
It's in Missouri.
when you're the president, it's not.
Yeah, okay.
Not
Well,
a
okay.
mistake you can make.
He oversees this domain that we call the United States. So I feel like, yeah, geography
That's
is
true.
probably something he
Also,
should know.
I don't know if you saw this. This isn't like anything we have on our outline or anything.
Mm-hmm.
But Death Note, Death Note.
Death Note, like the
Manga,
animation.
the anima.
Yeah.
No, but I guess they made a manga, or like they have made like a separate storyline for the manga,
Mm-hmm.
and it had Trump in it, and it was like Trump will pay. He was like, "I'll pay billions of dollars for the Death Note," and then what was it? Shinigami? Is that the little demon?
Yeah, the
What's her-
the Shikigami. Or,
Yeah.
I don't know. It basically translates to like death.
Yeah, but he's like, if you buy the book, you die. If you sell the book, you die. And then it's like, well, I don't want the book. And like that was the only panels I saw, but I guess it's a whole thing.
That's actually kind of funny. I'd pay for a Trump manga.
I could be okay with it. I love when people make like anime intros, or they animate like anime intros for certain shows and shit.
We talked about this briefly yesterday. I think artists are so cool because they have the ability to literally create anything from their minds, and like you see things like, God, who made that? And then you realize the restraint that every artist is exercising strictly by not making certain things, right?
Yeah, I mean, you gotta respect it. You gotta respect them out there.
Yeah, true.
It's a tough life being an artist.
Is it?
I think so.
Well, I mean, it's definitely like a gamble. It's one of those jobs like being an author or a musician or a
Drug
producer
dealer.
or a drug dealer, where you are more or less taking a chance every time you put out something. So
Yeah.
I would agree, I guess. Yeah.
Makes sense. But other than that, how are you?
How am I? I'm doing all right. School is now, I think I've started my third week, or is this my second week? It's my third or second week in, and I don't know about anyone else. I don't know if our listeners are actually college students or not, or if you're not a college student. But did you ever get this feeling in high school where, like, for the first like month or so of the semester, you really don't feel like you're even in the class?
I felt like that my whole senior year.
All right. Well, with that in mind, I'm still at a point where like I'm sitting in the back of the classroom in my math class, and my brain is literally 30 minutes on a thought train that I've completely tuned out a lecture for. And then I snap back. I'm like, oh wait, should I? Like I usually would think, oh damn, I tuned out. What'd I miss? But I'm still at a point in the semester where I still like don't think there's an issue with it whatsoever.
Yeah.
And it was an issue because last class that I tuned out was saying that something was due today that I did not do.
Oh.
However, I will say no one else did it. So
Okay.
you know, who knows? Maybe your boy might not get a late grade.
Well, at least everyone's on the same page, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's also like, I feel like everyone in my math class is having the same feeling that I am.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm telling you, the teacher is just asking questions and literally no one is even like, it's not like, oh, you know, they're being shy or they just don't know the answer. I'm telling you, like, you'll look at the classroom and everyone's eyes are like definitely not there.
Yeah, I'd imagine. I mean, you get like a few week by of just kind of getting back in the swing of things.
Oh yeah, my first quiz today for that class
Yeah.
was so freaking easy. It was questions like, if gas is $2.50 a gallon, and you used 15 gallons of gas while traveling, how much money did you spend on gas?
Oh fuck!
It's like wait, what's 250 times 15? Mind blown. You know what's the best part?
What?
She's like, make sure you have your calculators ready.
She writes on the she's like, all right, turn to page 7. Like she forgot what it is, and she's just like, oh, you guys are gonna love this one,
dude. It's interesting, this math class, and I don't even mean to sound like a snarky asshole, you know what I mean? But it really is easy math, especially with calculators.
Yeah.
Granted, if you hit me with like, if she's like, hey, put away your calculators, and she gave me a division problem, I wouldn't even know what to do. I completely forgot how to divide by hand.
Yeah, I mean that shit's like, I don't know, any math class where it's like you can't use a calculator on this one. It's like, fucking why? And they're like, well, you're not gonna have a calculator in real life. It's like, no, I will. My phone is right here.
Right, and they say that, but like every place that I've been in, they want you to use a calculator just so your numbers are correct more than anything.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, why would a business be like say you're like an estimator, and it's like, we need to determine how much we're gonna make off this, and you like pull out a calculator. Your boss is gonna be like, what the fuck you do? Put
that shit away. We don't trust those.
We don't. Bust out your abacus. What the fuck you think this is?
Yeah, this is elementary hour over here, baby.
Every time I say abacus, I think of you remember as a kid going to like a doctor's office and they had the thing where you can like
the
move
wooden
the beads
on the wire.
It's like a roller coaster.
Dude, what the hell was the point in that? I mean, I guess it kept me distracted because I'd be like, oh, I wonder if I could get this bead to be here. And then in reality, it's all the same thing.
Well, it's the same. Well, I know a lot of kids. It's like, can I get it on like one throat? And you'd like take 2 fingers and you like throw it up and see if you can make it all the way. That's
fair.
But maybe that's just me.
I remember actually in my pediatrician class at my pediatrician, it was like it had like actually like a big play area kind of because it was a larger office, and there was like kind of like a playscape-esque type of area. And then there was an area with like 12 of those things. I remember one time me and my mom were sitting there, and I was probably like 13 at the time, so I'm I'm older, I don't play with that stuff anymore. I see a kid that was doing trying to launch the thing like you were saying, and he just flipped it, and I really remember like everyone in the office just collectively laughing at it, because it's one of those things where you're like, it's cute because the kid did it, but in reality he fucking launched that thing.
he took it from the bottom, he just flipped it.
Well, that's kind of like what it was like. Like, I saw out of the corner of my eye, that shit caught air. Like, I don't know what strength this, like, I don't know, couldn't be older than 8-year-old kid did, but he just sent that shit flying. Everyone's like, aha, it's a kid. But, like, the hell kind of strength is that?
He's one of those, like, 6'2", 200-pound 8th graders.
Dude, those guys were crazy.
They were scary.
They were.
That does remind me, as a kid in my, like, dentist office, they had, like, video games in the corner, but it was one game where it was kind of like Tetris where you had to, like, match colors, but it was, like, you shot the ball off, like, alright, so it's, like, it's, picture, like, a Tetris map layout.
Yeah.
And in the middle, it's, like, your little character, and then they have a cannon, and they're shooting, like, different colored balls, and you gotta match the balls to the color.
Okay.
And I don't know, I just remember that. And I remember, like, popping off one time, and then, like, other kids in the room were looking at me, and I was like...
Dude, I lived for those games as a kid, though. Like, McDonald's used to have Smash Bros, the one I frequented when I was a kid.
That's true.
That was always A1. I waited for some little tuck to come and be like, oh, can I play against you? And I'd be like, oh yeah, sure. In reality, my older cousins already pummeled me for 6 hours straight the day before, and I'm waiting to beat the hell out of a fucking 4-year-old.
Yeah, you're fucking wave dashing, shine spiking people, and it's like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
But speaking of things we enjoyed as a kid,
Speaking of things we enjoyed as a kid,
fucking Dunkaroos.
they are making a comeback.
Making a comeback, baby.
So, okay, without looking at it, how would you describe Dunkaroos to people that don't know what it is? Because we actually had a couple people in our friends group not know what they were.
You remember sometimes for lunch you'd get those they were like the breadsticks and then you had a little cheese pouch?
Yes.
It's like that times a million, but better.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
So how I would describe it is essentially they're like, basically it's a package like you said, and it's got two sections. The first section being like the crunchy aspect, which is it's essentially graham cracker.
It's like a wafer.
It's like graham cracker wafer. It's a cookie. And then instead of cheese, they have frosting, vanilla frosting with sprinkles. Basically, it was like crack to me as a kid.
Yeah, I see. I'm so happy about this, but I'm mostly happy about it not for the fact that it's Dunkers are back, but that it opens the gateway for other things to come back. You know what I mean?
Such as like,
do you remember those little tins of like they were like Dorito crouton kind of things? You know what I'm talking about?
yeah,
There's those, and then Yogos.
Okay, cereal straws.
Please, for the love of God, bring back the Fruity Loops, or no, I'm sorry, the Sam the Toucan cereal straws. It is the only thing I'm clinging onto in this life anymore. It is the only thing keeping me here, and it is all I will ever want. Thank you for your time.
Have fun editing that part.
It won't be that bad. It's fine.
But as Dan said, yeah, there's things from our childhood that we'd like to bring back. But I guess really, Dunkaroos, I feel like everyone from our generation should know for some reason.
This should be like monumental.
Yeah, really.
I feel.
Well, it's funny actually. This was shared on Facebook. This article about Dunkaroos coming back by so many people from our high school.
I know.
That's how I found it in the first place, and I hope it doesn't have the Cosmic Brownie effect, though. Because I obviously will go and get some Dunkaroos just to be like, is it as good as I remember? If it's just as bad as Cosmic Brownies are, because Cosmic Brownies as a kid, we've talked about before, slapped. Cosmic Brownies now, horrible. Horrible.
I don't know if I give them the horrible. I give zebra cakes the horrible. But
I would take a zebra cake over the Cosmic Brownie.
Well, we disagree there, but I respect your opinion.
I respect yours as well.
See what we did there, guys? Try it in your own life.
Yeah, we're going to fight to the death afterwards.
Yes. There's a pit set up in the backyard. But anyways.
Anywho.
I'm so happy about this.
I am as well.
And even if, like... Because I'm with you on the same thing of, like... It might have been one of those things I liked as a kid just because it's, like, sugar. Mm-hmm. Sugar in a cookie. Like, you really can't go wrong with that. And, like, all Little Debbie cakes, they don't really hold up, to my knowledge. Nutter Butter's still okay.
Yeah.
I can live with them.
Yeah.
Like, I'll buy a box.
Okay.
But I'm hoping that, like, because obviously we'll get some Dunkaroos, and if I have them and I like them, I'll be very happy. And if I don't, I'll be like, well, I hope some kid out there will enjoy this.
You know, I have to agree with that. Like, I'm thinking about my niece right now. Just the fact that I can introduce her to Dunkaroos the way that my older brother did for me.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I want that experience for her, and I hope they're as good for her as they are for me.
Exactly. I mean,
I can't even tell you when they disappeared. Do you know when they even stopped being around?
I don't know.
It's not like I grocery shopped at the time.
I mean, do you want to get Steve on that really quick?
Well, because I tried.
It doesn't say. Because like
really say.
There's been so many snacks that like there's no announcement for it or anything. They just disappear, and like I remember asking my mom sometimes of like specific snacks that disappear. I'm like, hey mom, could you get these the next time you go out? And then she would just be like, well, they're not there anymore, little tyke, and no, excuse me, I'm just super confused why. And I mean,
well, apparently they stopped being a thing in 2012.
That's a lot later than I thought.
I mean, to be fair, that is 8 years ago.
Fuck, you're right. You're actually right.
Yeah.
I mean, at that point I was 13, 12.
Yeah, so
So
we were moving past it actively anyway, because we were in middle school, right? So like we weren't really as reliant on like the I don't know about you, but like as soon as I hit middle school, like my parents making my lunch and snack kind of stopped. Like it was like the here's money, go get whatever the hell they're serving at school.
yeah, I mean, for me, like mine was easy because my mom would just like make a peanut butter and fluff sandwich.
Uh,
I used to do peanut butter fluffs. I can't eat them anymore.
yeah,
I remember because I don't know if it was Skippy or who had it, but it used to come in like just a white jar with a red top. And
yeah, I know exactly
you
what
know
you're
what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah,
I haven't seen those in a million years, I
that's the
feel.
only type of fluff that I actually see come through my house.
Yeah. I mean, like, I haven't seen fluff, like, at grocery stores in a long time. I don't know where it'd be. But, like, there was one day I went in and I was like, oh, I need to get peanut butter. And I'm like, is fluff still a thing? And I was hunting around. And
Yeah,
obviously I'm not going to ask somebody. Because what I run up to, like, a Stop and Shop boy.
I need fluff.
Hey, where's the fluff? And she's like, aisle 7? And I'm like, thank you. And I just...
Sprint.
I like get down into runner's position, take off,
Oh
or
my
no,
God.
I like move my arms and do like the cartoon where it's like
Oh yeah.
a spinning wheel for legs, and I just zoom on out.
You know, so you can't have fluff anymore. You're saying?
I don't think I can, and that's why like I don't think I'll enjoy Dunkaroos just because like I do have like a pretty big sweet tooth,
Mm-hmm.
but there's some things that are too much for me. You know what I mean?
I mean, I don't even feel like Dunkaroos were overly sweet though.
I don't see because it's been so long that I just don't remember.
Well, on the bright side, it's not like it's chocolatey sweet either. Because I feel like chocolate sweets, like when chocolate is really sweet, that's when I'm really like I cannot even touch this.
Well, that yeah, if you eat too much chocolate, feel like absolute death.
Mm.
Like I cannot move. But
Gee,
I don't know.
fluff. You know, I actually don't like grape jelly anymore
Oh yeah.
because to me, grape jelly is too sweet at this point.
It's I feel too childish. Like I feel like that's a stupid thing to say to like, oh, I can't make a peanut butter and jelly anymore, but like I just have peanut butter sandwiches at this
Dude.
point.
I'm telling you, strawberry preserves.
Those are good. That's good.
A1 or any actually to be honest I like any type of jam jelly preserves outside of grape. Blackberry jam is really good, raspberry jam's really
The thing
good.
with anything grape is it doesn't taste like a grape. Like anything artificial grape is just its own flavor that they're like, these are grapes.
Well, presumably grape jelly is grape.
Well, no, I understand that, but it's like there's definitely artificial in it.
Yeah, like, it
So-
feels way too sweet.
Because I don't know about you, but just like grapes in general don't ever taste like grape flavored anything.
Fair. Definitely fair. Do you like grapes actually?
I love grapes.
I do too.
Frozen grapes. Oh my fucking god.
Oh my gosh, I could hug you right now. I'm telling you guys, I've probably talked about it on the podcast before. If it's hot in the summer, take some grapes, throw them in the freezer. Great frozen treat, better than popsicles.
If it's cold in the winter, pop them in the freezer, have them anyways. If it's nice in the spring and the fall, pop them in the freezer, have them anyways.
Yeah.
There's no bad time.
See, my favorite is I like to. So I'll come home from the grocery store with them, or my mom will, and we'll wash them, and then we'll throw them in the freezer for about like 4 to 5 hours, so they get like halfway frozen, and that like gives them that nice snap to it.
Yeah.
And that's my favorite part.
Do you do that with berries?
Freeze them?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do that with some. Like I can't do them with strawberries, but like
chewing a frozen strawberry is either either you get that like the little like the smoothie type slush, or you're biting a rock.
yeah. But I mean, have you ever had like not that good strawberries where they just kind of like I don't know, they're too squishy. You know what I mean? That's the worst.
Yeah. Well, to me, I feel like I have had more bad batches of strawberries than any other fruit.
Oh, I agree entirely.
Like, I've gotten, bags of apples and oranges, and I'd be like, oh, these aren't that good. But, like, the bad strawberries really stand out.
Yeah. And it's a tragedy because, like, I love buying strawberries.
They're so
But
hit or miss.
if you don't get them, like, as soon as they put them out, like, whenever they do that,
Mhm.
it's, I don't know, if they sit for, like, a few days, then they just get kind of
Yeah.
stanky.
And, there's a grocery store called Aldi. They
Yeah.
have strawberries that are literally fucking magnum size.
Dude, I don't like big strawberries.
See, I didn't up until I realized that more often than not, those big ass strawberries, like the whole, like I would get like full tins of those that are good, rather with the smaller ones. I'd get like a fifth of them I had to throw out.
That's
because they
fair.
weren't good.
That makes sense.
I've been calling those plastic things tins now too. God damn it.
Yeah.
Dan, you know those tubs of cookies that you get at supermarkets? They're like plastic. Dan's been calling those tins of cookies lately, and I keep calling them tins now as well. It's obnoxious, actually.
I got it from my mom. My mom and my sister always call them tins. And the thing is, like, my mom will probably text me and she'll be like, I do not call them tins. Why are you... You're really going to call me out like that? And I'm like, hey, Mom, you did this to me. This is your fault.
It's your fault.
I blame you more than anyone else.
Yeah.
But...
Dunkaroos are coming back
man.
in 2020, which is this year.
Yeah.
It's so weird that 2020 is this year, man.
I know.
Because everything that, like... My dates don't look right.
No.
Writing 20 doesn't feel correct in
No.
any way, shape, or form.
I mean, hey, wait till we get to 2030. You know, if we get there.
If we get there. Well, if we get there, the coronavirus might have something to say about that.
This is true.
So, you may have heard some very conflicting news on the coronavirus over the past few days.
Please.
Some things are coming out saying, oh, we're actually on a hot track to just completely eradicate the disease. Some things are saying, the World Health Organization, as of 4 days ago, according to this article, has declared the coronavirus a global health emergency.
I love that its acronym is just WHO.
Yeah.
Because when I read the article, I initially thought, like...
By who?
Yeah, like you're trying to put suspense, and I was like, just tell me who the fuck it is.
And apparently it's issued a level 4 warning, and it's with this they're urging Americans to reconsider travel to China, and they're saying that any citizens in China should consider departing using commercial means ASAP. It's saying as of 4 days ago, at least 213 people in China have died from the virus. However,
Yeah.
there's more articles coming out, and I don't really want to talk about it because it's very controversial. But long story short, China's not really given very accurate numbers. And apparently, the Beijing police are now imprisoning people that say otherwise.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, that makes in total sense just because China is a big old conglomerate of fuckery. So.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's just one thing after another with these people.
I mean,
these people. That's not very sensitive.
No, that's accurate, I'd say.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, like, when I think of Chinese government, I just think of, like, a dictatorship at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't think you get to withhold numbers on how many people have died from a disease that is rapidly spreading.
Yeah.
And also the whole fact that, like, this is gonna sound kind of fucked, but the fact that, like, people are still able to fly in and out of China is incredible.
Mm-hmm.
That this is going on, because there's so many conflicting I don't know, I guess, like, outlets of, oh yeah, no, it's not a big deal, we already have a cure for it, or it's like, we're all dying slowly but surely, we're all dead, and it's like, who do I believe?
Well, that's kind of the thing. And, like, China's population is so freaking large, man. Like, it could spread so fast.
I know.
Like, so fast.
I know.
Apparently, as of 4 days ago, there's been 98 cases in 18 other countries besides China.
Yeah.
I didn't hear any updates yet on the 2 that were being tested in DC. If you remember last week that we talked about.
Well, I know we have one in Massachusetts now.
Is it a confirmed case?
Yeah, it was confirmed, yeah.
So, travel is doesn't really seem very good in this day and age. And
yeah.
honestly, I would avoid even densely packed cities for a while.
I would just avoid people in general. I've been doing a pretty good job at it for the past 21 years of my life.
Well, that's fair, I guess. Yeah, that's
I was
fair.
I was ahead of the curve, I like to think. I knew this was coming, and I was like, well, if I just make myself very antisocial and get social anxiety pretty easily, I'll never have to worry about it.
Savvy.
I'll get sick on my own time.
Yeah. Okay.
Maybe.
Fair. Very fair. What's also like kind of like that I hate about this coronavirus is that there's articles that are coming out saying like, oh, coronavirus vaccine in development, and then there's articles coming out saying when will there be a vaccine available?
I know.
And then there's one that's like, Taiwanese scientists have developed a vaccine for the coronavirus by crossing it with 2 strains from the flu and the HIV virus. and then like 2 days later, there's no further developments with that vaccine whatsoever.
Yeah.
Because I've been actually trying to stay on top of the current news of the coronavirus, but literally every news outlet is saying something different.
Yeah.
And like you may think, oh well, that's obvious. They get different sources. But I'm saying like articles that come out within like the same like day, within the same 12-hour span, are saying there's improvements being made, and they're saying that and then they're saying it's getting worse. Like I really don't, I can't even grasp how like big this situation is until seeing that the World Health Organization has declared it a global health emergency. But
Yeah.
like,
I mean, what do they know?
yeah,
They don't deal with health in the world.
well, yeah, definitely, Dan.
You know me. I don't trust anyone.
You don't trust me? All right,
I mean,
so I
next
don't,
time-
wanna, I don't want to explore that before I get my feelings hurt. So you know,
But no, like I entirely agree. It's just there's nothing concrete. Like normally, like shit. Even like I don't know.
like,
Thinking back to like swine flu and shit like
Ebola
that. Like,
even.
Ebola, yeah, it was like we don't have a cure, and everyone was like, yeah, we don't have a cure, and now everyone was on the same page. And for this, it's just I don't know if it's because it originated in China. China's like, you better shut the fuck up. We're doing fine, or if we actually don't know anything, or I don't know. All I know is
Apparently, Italy has completely suspended flights to and from China.
good.
There's also 6,000 people on board of a cruise ship were temporarily barred from disembarking.
Can we talk about cruise ships for a second?
Yeah.
Being on cruise ships is just like a giant floating cesspool, and I never understand how people enjoy being on cruises.
Yeah, you know, I don't even like boats, to be fair.
Yeah.
Like, even big one, like, I don't like being on open water, to be fair.
Yeah, me neither.
But, like, kind of, isn't a cruise ship basically, like, a week, it's just a week of eating, pretty much? Like, eating and then, like, whatever dumb shit you're gonna do on a cruise ship, like drinking, swimming, fucking, I don't know. Fucking, yeah. I don't know. I've had family go on cruises and stuff. They're not for me. I agree.
Yeah.
I don't see the point in them.
don't
I'd
either.
rather go somewhere, like, specific.
I agree.
So actually, what this is new that this article is talking about. This is from the BBC, by the way. Apparently, the U.S. around 200 citizens have been flown out of Wuhan in China, but they're being isolated in a California military base for like 72 hours, where they're all being tested.
Oh, okay.
2 flights to Japan have already landed in Tokyo. Japan has now raised its infectious disease advisory level for China, so like they're raising their bars. Israel has barred all flight connections with China. Russia has decided to close its border with China.
Very fair.
Even North Korea is suspending all flights to and from China.
So China's a big no-no on the fly list. Believe it or not, contrary to popular belief.
Well, you know, God, I like that. Like, these articles are also getting people to sound moderately racist.
Yeah.
In a lot of ways, because they're like they're basically trying to say avoid Chinese people without actually saying avoid Chinese people.
Yeah.
And it's kind of comical because I understand, like, you can't say that. I agree with that. Like, you can't just be like, avoid Asian people for the risk of them being infected. Because, I mean, like, the likelihood of you coming in contact, as of right now, with someone that's been infected is very low. I mean, what? At least for us.
Yeah.
You know, for us, as, like, we're in Connecticut, we're, you know, not in a big city. We're not even very close to, like, an airport, for that matter.
Yeah, we gotta go a little ways.
Yeah, so, like, you know, we're not very much at risk, but still our news outlets for our area are still kind of leaning towards the, maybe you should avoid this type of person.
Yeah, and it's like, can you say that? It's like,
Yeah.
everyone behind the scenes is just like shrugging their shoulders, like, we fucking know.
Yeah, right. And then I like the articles that come out, like, the things that you can do to avoid being infected. It's like, wash your hands, wear a mask, avoid people. It's like,
huh?
wow.
It's as if it's always been like that.
Yeah. And they're acting like it's a hot take. But the thing is, the point that I brought that up for, though, is is those articles in a way they're not even for people that aren't infected. This goes back to the race thing. They're just trying to put it in people's heads that people that could already be infected should just be wearing masks. So they're not spreading their infection.
Yeah.
And washing their hands. So yeah. Could get coronavirus, could not get coronavirus. Who the frick knows?
Yeah, wash your hands. Just be a sanitary human being.
Yeah.
It's not too hard.
Yeah. Yeah, really, it's not that hard. Apparently there's only, as of right now, 5 cases in France and the U.S. So most of the cases are in Asian countries, or Australia.
Well, there gets to be many more cases in France, so they'll just give up, so it's kind of whatever.
Apparently there's over 10,000 confirmed cases in China now, by the way.
Really?
Yeah.
That's a good number. I mean, honestly, that's a spec for the amount of people in China, so. But.
It's interesting to think, though, that in Ebola from August 2014 to 2016, in that 2-year span, 30,000 people were infected and 11,000 died in West Africa. And there's already 10,000 infected just in China. And it's only been a month since this virus has come out or even come to light.
Well, win some, you lose some.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, the Ebola started in West Africa, which is a rather poor country. Yeah, I don't know if it's densely packed as China, so I guess that makes sense. But I just don't want to get plagued, man. I just don't want another plague.
I'm feeling it. I mean, it's been a while.
Yeah, but I feel like we as humans are very scared beings, and we have a lot of technology that can really get turned against ourselves in that fear nowadays. Rather with the plague back then, it's like, you're coughing? Well, ring around the rosy, pocket full of posies, we all fall down. But nowadays, it's like, U.S. goes to war with X, Y, and Z because of,
Yeah, that's true. I didn't think of it that way, actually.
Basically, what I'm trying to say is there's a lot more problems that could accompany another plague outside of the actual plague.
I agree.
Because of that.
Well, I'd say one way to avoid the plague coming this March is stay inside and play Animal Crossing New Horizon.
So, Animal Crossing, that's a game that people have been, fiending for, right? The new one?
Yeah, Animal Crossing hasn't been around for a while. It's a game for Nintendo. They made a cute Switch for it. You should see it. It's so cute.
Oh, the Switch is beautiful. Nintendo Switch, by the way.
I know. But, I'm just really excited for this. I just want to talk about it.
Yeah. I don't even know what you do in Animal Crossing. What do you do? Is it a simple...
It's like Sims, kind of.
Yeah?
You just kind of, live your life.
Oh.
I mean, it's essentially just living your life in a video game, paying debt to somebody, and making friends with people in town. But you want to be friends with people in town because they're different animals,
Yeah, okay. I mean, I can see myself, enjoying this, especially on a Switch, because it's handheld.
You can take it anywhere, you can just chill out. It's very cute. I'm very excited for it. And they have a lot of, new designs and shit, because I guess, I think it was yesterday or beginning of the week, technically the same thing, but, they put out 125 different pictures of what the animals will look like and different outfits they'll have.
Oh, that's cool.
And it's very adorable and I'm very excited and
it's a net positive.
It is a net positive. I'm just trying to bring light to the world, And
it's coming out in March?
Yep. It comes out the same day as Doom Eternal.
Oh, fitting.
Very
fitting.
Very similar games.
Very similar. Demons, animals, same thing.
Sometimes, yes.
Fair. Very fair, actually.
I've been hoping that maybe they do a crossover since they come out the same day of just you get I don't know, Doom guy is a resident in your town and he makes when you talk to him he does the
I think even better if there was a crossover in the reverse.
Oh, that's what I was getting to. You have in the opposite where just the monsters are just different animals.
Oh my god. And I'm just thinking how brutal Doom is as a game as well in terms of the sheer gore of it.
Yeah.
I don't want to see Daisy. What the hell is it Daisy?
Daisy is probably one of the names.
I don't know. It's one of the characters in Animal Crossing. The female dog. I can't remember what the hell her name is.
KK Slider? The one that sings?
No, the one that's in Ultimate.
Oh, Isabella.
Isabella, that's the name I was looking for. Yeah.
There you go.
So, Animal Crossing, cool.
I just think it's very cute.
I'm happy to hear that like they at least the people that are waiting for this game have a date because I remember like what was it 2 years ago when the Switch came out, people were like, "So when's the new Animal Crossing dropping?"
Yeah. Well, that was the thing is it was supposed to come out 2019, and I think it was supposed to come out November 2019, and then they were like, "Hey guys, you're gonna have to wait a little bit longer." But at least the Animal Crossing community, I just picture is so just laid back. Everybody was in a like normally people would be like, "What the fuck?" They're just like, "Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah,
Take your time."
because they're gonna just put 300 more hours onto
Yeah.
the older Animal Crossing game. They're like,
Dead
okay,
ass.
more time to play the older game. Fine.
They're like, "Oh, it's fine. I can wait. Don't
Yeah,
worry about it.
Yeah, we got this.
You want to delay it again? I know
Yeah.
you're doing your best to make it perfect."
Yeah, speaking of communities though that are in the gaming world, I don't know if you heard about this actually, but Modern Warfare had an Outbreak Pack or Outback Pack, and the proceeds from that were donated to the Australian relief effort for the wildfires.
Yeah.
And so us gamers that play
Yeah.
Call of Duty Modern Warfare have raised 1.6 million US dollars
That's
for
very,
it
very cool. Actually,
through Call of Duty, which
Yeah.
is pretty cool. I thought that was interesting.
very interesting. I mean, the whole killing people doesn't really fit in with saving the fires, but
Well, it's
it's taken nonetheless.
Well, it's more like I guess the Outback Pack. I'm gonna guess like they had like a Crocodile Dundee hat that you could wear for
Yeah.
your character and shit like that.
Yeah,
But I mean, obviously it's great PR for Activision.
I
is
think
it?
that's who does it.
Yeah. So like it's great PR for them. It is for a good cause. But it's actually kind of a really good idea for companies to start doing this because like they obviously kept some of the money.
Yeah,
But at the same time, like, I guess it could make the gaming community seem more pleasurable and inviting when stuff like this comes out,
yeah.
Because, like, I'm reading this article, and, people that, it's not like on a gaming site, and they're like, oh, yeah, that's actually really cool. Good for, that's, wow. I never expected this kind of community to band together like that.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool.
I mean, a lot of communities do it. Like I know, League of Legends does it once a year where they'll come out with a skin and like all proceeds will go to like a different charity,
Yeah.
which is very cool.
I guess more or less though, like I like that like it's like contemporary things that are going wrong, so that was really cool. I wanted to just shout that out. Yeah, Activision is the company, by the way,
Okay, I'm glad we were close.
and they're donating it to the Direct Relief Foundation, supporting the Australian fire effort.
Is there any updates on how Australia's doing? Like, is it still on fire?
Um,
Because obviously, like, it's kind of fallen out of the news a little bit. So,
well,
also, Corona's kind of taken over and like, hey, this is the new big thing that's going on in the world.
I know they had rain, but actually that rain washed so much ash into the water that it killed so much wildlife.
Yeah, that would make sense.
So actually, as of 20 hours ago, the Australian fires from the Guardian, the rain forecast is they're basically still wanting rain.
Mm-hmm.
The fire grounds along the east coast of Queensland, inside of Wales, are going to be receiving significant rainfall. So it looks like there's still active fires there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like there's still fires.
I'd imagine. I mean, that's not something that'll be taken care of overnight, to say the least. But,
Well, it's I guess it looks like the wildlife the fire threat though of it spreading is dying down.
okay. Well, that's good.
So yeah, because I guess this article is titled like Australia's capital lifts state of emergency as fire threat subsides.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just gonna go out on a limb and say that.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, obviously we still we should still donate to the cause because they have to rebuild a lot.
Yeah.
But there's gonna be it's a big effort to. I mean, I didn't know how you'd go about fixing that. Like, it's scorched.
Well, I mean,
Have
yeah.
you seen some of the pictures, man?
Yeah,
Like,
it's
it's scorched.
Terrible.
Like, it doesn't even look like something you would see, like, on this earth. You'd think it's from a movie.
Yeah, no, I don't disagree with
Like,
that.
it doesn't even look real to me. It's so freaking sad.
I mean, with time, the community will come together and they'll fix everything.
I mean, that devastation, that's hundreds of years of just foliage
yeah.
gone. It's so fucking sad, dude. I'm actually swearing a lot this episode.
I know.
It's how I feel today,
Yeah.
But dude, like, look at just look at some of the pictures. Google them, just look them up. It doesn't look real, and I can't get that through my head for some reason that it is real.
Yeah, I mean, like, The from space picture of Australia looked like a Call of Duty Zombies map, to be fair.
Yeah, I guess it's just shocking to me because I'm here talking about it from what 2,000 plus miles away from the situation at the least, you know.
Yeah.
So now that like I've actually seen the devastation, like I knew that the fires were bad, but like seeing the aftermath, I guess, really set the somber tone for it.
Yeah.
Like before, it was worry. This is more just like, oh shit, that really happened.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's all I had for the for Call of Duty. I feel like that's all I had for video games this week, actually.
Yeah, I think we maybe more in the future.
Yeah, of course. I mean, we're not above talking.
Or maybe we start our gaming podcast.
I will say though, this is kind of politics that I want to talk about, but Stephen King quit Facebook, right?
Yeah.
And I guess it's a big deal. I don't know why it's specifically a big deal if someone's just like, hey, yeah, I don't feel like being on it anymore. But his tweet about it was pretty interesting. He goes, I'm quitting Facebook. Not comfortable with the flood of false information that's allowed in its political advertising, nor am I confident in its ability to protect its users' privacy. And then he's just shouted out his own Twitter. But I have to agree with that. It makes sense. I think it's a good thing that a celebrity of his stature is like, hey, Facebook's not okay.
I mean, yeah, the majority of social media has pulled like all political ads because it's just unneeded.
Yeah, of course. Twitter has a great policy for political ads.
Yeah.
However, Facebook does not. And they're letting false information fall through with their advertisements. It's not creating a good environment or a productive environment.
I feel like Facebook has just been like left in the past. Like that I feel like that whole I don't know, organization is just so I don't know the word I want to use.
Contemporary? Modern?
Actually, just up to date. I guess modern.
Yeah,
Like, they don't have a good grasp on reality.
I use Facebook still, it's how I keep in contact with, some family or some people from high school, but, I really don't see much value in it myself.
No.
At least other forms of social media, there's something in there, but, like, I don't know, Facebook also feels toxic. I mean, I don't know if that's because of, the last few years it hasn't had a good rep. So I can't tell if, like, I'm just enjoying it less because of that, or if it's because it's actually objectively bad.
Yeah, I hate when I get on Facebook and Margaret is just making fun of my cooking recipe video that I put on Facebook.
Say what you
didn't
want.
have to do that.
I actually appreciate the memes that people share on Facebook because they're not messed up memes. They're usually the ones that aren't like just the deep fried memes, like the ones that are just basically TV static.
Yeah.
And they're like, huh, this is comedy. Like, I don't get much of those on Facebook, so I can appreciate it.
I picture the majority of like funny things you get on Facebook are just like, don't talk to me until I have my cup of coffee, and then it's a picture like the Tasmanian devil.
Oh yeah, it's purely funny stuff because of like how dumb it is and how dated they are.
That makes sense.
My gosh, anytime I see someone like people still actively share Looney Tunes, gangster Looney Tunes stuff.
Oh my god, bring those back.
Bring those back.
I want like a triple XL T-shirt of Bugs Bunny holding a gun. And on the shirt it says something like, don't mess with me, or I'll have to do it.
You don't want to see my bad side.
Yeah, you don't want to see
or
my
we
bad...
all have demons.
Oh, dude, please give me a we all have demons.
Dude.
It goes, like a shirt that goes down to my knees. I'm wearing fucking...
Jenko jeans.
Jenko jeans. I go out in public and people are like, what? How? What? People like just don't approach me. Rightfully so.
I mean, yeah. Dude, oh my gosh. Yeah, no, Facebook is yeah, they're not really perpetuating a good environment for this up and coming election. I like that he really singled out like the politics surrounding it is his reason. And I have to agree.
Political ads have like no place anywhere. It's just forcing different agendas on people. And it's like for people that agree with it, they're like, oh, yeah, that's cool. And then people that don't disagree, it's just like, why am I seeing this?
True. I actually heard something interesting about Stephen King today.
Yeah.
You know that he's such a valuable author. So usually when authors sign with a publishing company for their book, they're offered royalties as payment. and that's usually anywhere between 10 to 15%. So let's say it's 15% and the book is $10, or let's just say 20 even. That's $3 that they get.
Yeah.
You know, so he is actually such a influential. Like his name in itself guarantees sales so much that he's able to negotiate 50% royalties.
Jesus.
I don't think there's many. Like I think one of the more notable ones is like 30% is the highest.
Yeah. I mean, if you can get 50%, that's... I mean, you can hardly ever negotiate 50-50 on anything, to be fair.
Yeah, and I mean, like, the thing is, like, it's purely because of his name. Well, granted, he's built up that name over the years.
Yeah.
So he's able to do it now. But I thought that was so freaking cool. Like, that's such BDE.
Yeah,
like,
that is very...
It's... That guy's got some strong energy.
I respect it.
He's also, like, looks fucking insane nowadays.
Yeah, no, Stephen King. He's definitely a little older.
Dude, I hope to be like Stephen King when I'm older.
Yeah?
Just be a bit... No, I want to be like his son, actually. His son... Do you remember when we talked about his son, how he became a successful author by changing his name?
Yeah.
And even his publisher didn't even know he was Stephen King's son?
Yeah.
That's who I aspire to be. So basically, Stephen King, am I your long-lost son?
I don't know. Are you Brandon Edwards?
You know, actually, one last thing about books, because I talked about books a lot today in my media class.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know that J.K. Rowling's, she's actually, like, worth, like, $17 billion?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Well, I mean,
She's, like, the first billionaire author, like, the first female billionaire author. But the thing is, like, back in 1997, when the Sorcerer's Stone was coming out, she was literally living on Britain's equivalent of welfare.
Yeah.
As a single mom, divorced.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It is crazy. Well, everyone's got little humble beginnings, I guess. I mean, J.K. Rowling now just kind of throws gibberish in her books.
Yeah, you know,
I mean, like,
it's okay. It's over 20 years later. You know, people change over the years.
Yeah.
God, Harry Potter came out over 20 years ago.
Yeah, that's crazy.
All right, before I feel any older, I'm gonna move on from that.
What do you got? What do you got?
What do I have? There's actually there was an interesting study, or not study, but something that I was reading that about babies. It was a CNN health article, and apparently babies are willing to give up food, like showing like their altruistic characteristics early on. Like so, like basically what I'm like it is instilled in us as people to be giving, I guess, when it comes to food in specific.
Oh, okay.
Like so even babies that are notably hungry, like 19-month-old. So this was well, I'm just gonna read the article a little bit. So they used a picture of this 19-month-old hungry baby. However, the baby sees the adult wants it, and the child makes the decision to like give that up.
Okay.
So like this shows that children, you know, I like to joke that kids lack empathy and they're basically not people until they're like 12 or 13 because they don't have any good characteristics yet. That's false. So altruism seems somewhat implicit in our human nature, that we want to give when we see people that are needy. And that's basically what this article talks about, is that, you know, it shows that even babies can recognize when someone's in need, and then they have that natural reaction to want to help, which is very interesting, because then you think about that philosophical debate of, are humans innately good or bad, or are we neutral, can we even make the case?
Yeah.
You know, so it's a very interesting argument with this in mind, I guess.
Yeah.
Do you think humans are innately good or bad?
I always say good.
Yeah.
I think it normally takes something for people to not be good, obviously. Like, normally it's like an incident will happen where someone wasn't there for them or something of that nature, and they think, I don't have to be there for someone else. Mm-hmm. Yada yada. I would say innately good. Something like that. Yeah. Something like that. Your article that you've just said helps prove that.
True. I mean, I wouldn't say that I think people are innately bad. I just think that it's natural to want to be out for your own interests more than anything else.
Yeah, I think it just depends on the type of person.
Of course. Very, you know, you still have to think, though, like, you can think that you wouldn't help someone, but in reality you would, you know what I mean? Like, what you say and how you act are also very different. You know, we have morals. We'll say, like, it goes back to like say you're sitting in your classroom when you're daydreaming. What if someone came in with a gun? What would you do to stop them?
Yeah.
Like you may think that you would jump up and stop them, or you might dive behind a desk, or you might say you'll dive behind a desk, but in the moment you actually stop them.
Yeah.
The point I'm trying to make is that I feel like making the case of are people innately good or bad is nonsensical because there's so many other elements that, like you said, play into that.
Yeah. And I think trying to decipher that from 7 billion people is not easy. Like, if you want, like, factual or, like, concrete evidence of, like, oh, people are innately good or bad, you're never going to get it. So, it's definitely, like, opinionated. It's definitely person to person.
I leaned that we were innately bad in the first place because we set up the parameters for what good and bad is. Like, that's a human-made concept. When a tiger kills, they just see it as killing because that's part of their life.
Yeah.
Whereas when we do it, we see it as a bad thing. And the reason why I say people are objectively bad is because we've set up these parameters, yet we still do these bad things. We acknowledge that drugs are bad, but we still do drugs. Does that make us a bad person? It goes like that's the thing. It keeps going further and further. So like, it gets murky.
Yeah. It's like when you get to that point, I don't want to say like you're fishing, because not like you specifically, obviously. But I'm saying like when you try to go too deep into it, it's just you're trying too hard to prove the point that if sometimes there's never a point to having one in the first place.
Yeah, it's still a very interesting debate, and I miss having those back in high school because we were such unmolded pieces of clay. It was interesting hearing people's thoughts change and develop on that specific subject.
See, I prefer something like that now than to younger, because I feel like at that point you can't really form. I don't say you can't, but like you don't really form your own opinion on things like that.
I mean, that's fair, but I guess the reason why I like that is just because it was more or less like nowadays in college when we have debates, I always feel like people have their opinion and they're arguing it like it's like a political debate where instead of just arguing to come to an understanding, they're more or less defending their side at all costs more than anything.
That's the thing is like I don't want to say people don't know how to argue, but majority of people arguing never argue to come to a conclusion. It's just to prove that they're right and you're wrong.
Well, and that's not necessarily a bad thing, but like when you're talking about something like this, like it's really hard to even have a beneficial conversation just because people don't really go into it willing to change. Like you can support your opinion, but if you're going to completely block out everything the other person's going to say just so you can keep saying your next piece, like there's no point in even having the conversation.
Exactly.
Unless you're doing it for people that are outside the immediate back and forth, like publicized debates,
Yeah. I mean, and also something that's entirely opinionated is just not going to have a right answer.
Yeah.
So you're just arguing what you believe. And if you can't, like you said, if you can't take someone's like other side into consideration, then you're never going to grow.
Haha, as you know, I love to argue. Haha.
Well, dude, you used to have a year or two ago, you had a point where you just argue points to argue them, and then if people tried to argue back, you just talk louder over them, and then you were like, I'm right. I'm so right in this scenario. And it's like, but Bobby, you're like, no, I'm right. And I was like, I wanted to shoot you. I would, if I could have killed you, I wouldn't have, obviously. If I could have metaphorically killed you, I would have.
Dude, I'll go on record and say, I am probably one of the most horrific people to argue with because in those cases, just because, like, it's true, I'm just a dick. Just a dick.
And I love that you said, well, if you're going into your argument you can't see the other side, then there's no point to it. And then you fucking did that shit.
Well, okay, to be fair,
when
we argued back then, more or less, I was just arguing to argue.
Yeah, it was minute things anyway, so.
Yeah.
God.
God.
I mean, like, obviously I don't think you'd ever want to be a politician, but you'd be a pretty good one in terms of fucking debating. You'd be pretty fucking good at it.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I agree. I don't feel like that's the line of work for me, but goddamn, I do love arguing.
Dude, let me tell you, I was watching the like impeachment vote thing where they voted on like if they want to have witnesses or not, and because like after the vote they had people, they were trying to interview people and they were just like catching people. The amount of people just walking around like just fucking they looked they looked like zombies.
Yeah.
Like it was terrifying.
Dude, this whole impeachment thing has actually surprisingly gone completely under my radar.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
I mean,
by design, to be fair, because I frankly I can't give a shit. I'm at a point where like whatever happens happens. You know, it's 2020. Like there's an office change coming one way or another. You know.
yeah.
Indict him or don't. I don't know.
Yeah, and I mean, obviously, to not get political. I mean, no one listens at this point, anyways. Like, we're fine. It's whatever. But
Jesus, Dan, that's very positive.
I'm just memeing. But I mean, the whole thing is like not to be like conspiracy theorist, but it's pretty rigged. Like, you have more people of one party in the House voting than the other. They're not going to change their mind.
Yeah, I mean, we're in a very interesting time.
Yeah, I mean, we don't have fucking Genghis Khan running around doing his thing, so we're in a good state.
Yeah, you know, I mean,
There's no Hitler.
yeah. That's really when you compare our situation to saying like, well, there's no Hitler, but yeah, that in that case, this is a PBS special that we're dealing with. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, like it's bad, but obviously it could definitely be worse.
Yeah, it could. I guess.
Trump could just fuck around one day, run up into Congress with a gun, and just be like, "Hey, guess what?"
That is true. We could be in civil war.
Yeah,
that is very true. So that's always a positive because we're not.
Not yet.
God, dude, modern civil wars, dude, are not good.
Dude, imagine.
Well, wars aren't good, but like,
who'd have thought?
To be like, if our country had a civil war,
dude, we'd have mechs. We'd 100% have mechs running around.
Yeah.
It'd be nuts.
I don't even want to think about what would happen. It's not a development that I want.
You know, not for you.
Not for me. To be, I would get drafted and die.
I mean, you would do something.
Actually, no. If our nation went to civil war, I hate to say that I would abandon our country, but I would definitely not.
I'd be honest right now.
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah.
I hate to say I don't care about this country, but you know.
I do not care enough to put myself in the middle of a civil war.
Nope, I 100% don't.
I have goals in life, and it is not going to be encompassed by that.
I will either go up to Canada or I will take a plane and throw a dart at the map and go there in Europe. Probably Sweden.
I lean Canada at least for the first few years. I feel like
it'd be less culture shock.
Yeah,
and also you wouldn't have to really like learn any language.
Yeah,
other than maybe French, depending on where you're going.
Parlez-vous English?
No.
All right. Fancy.
Well, the thing is like everything comes from like the same root. So like French and Spanish to English are just like a few letters off.
Well, I mean, to be fair, French and I know like Spanish, they're Latin based.
Yeah, exactly.
Whereas English is Germanic based. It's just they were kind of made at the same time, so they're similar.
Yeah.
Basically.
Well, yeah, everything has like the same root to it, kind of like bien, bueno,
bien.
What is talk in Spanish?
I'm not the person to ask.
You just ask, do you speak English?
Oh, well, I mean, in what aspect? Because, like, Spanish is one of those languages where there's, like, 4 different words depending on which way you mean.
Well, yeah. I mean, just, like, the root, because, like, French is parler.
So, when you mean, like, to talk, like, so if I would ask when I'm asking if you speak English, I'd be like, so at work, I say, like, this phrase when people come up and they speak in Spanish, I'd be like, no hablas español, or no hablo español, tú hablas inglés, which is, I don't speak Spanish, do you speak English? Yeah. So hablas, if I'm talking to someone in the you form, so hablas is to speak, essentially.
Makes sense.
Yeah, geez, I've actually been looking into learning more Spanish. I've been like, I have a lot of Spanish speaking coworkers, and they've been like, kind of quizzing me every so often on phrases and stuff that they're throwing at me.
That's good.
Just because, like, I feel like it's a good, I don't know, it's a nice base to have, at least, like, where we're currently living.
Yeah.
You know, like it's a good thing to have for a resume. So
Yeah.
you know, if I can at least improve my Spanish somewhat, so I can at least put rudimentary Spanish on it, like that's fine.
Yeah. I mean, being bilingual is always going to be a plus
Yeah.
for anywhere you go.
Like I don't think I'll reach true bilingual status with Spanish, but like
No.
if I can at least say like I know my numbers, I know my basic phrases, you know, that's like really good for resume. That I feel
Yeah.
like I know my numbers. Like I can, if someone comes into the store and they speak in Spanish, I'm at least 75% of the time I can help them.
Yeah. No, I feel that. Like, cause I know a good amount of French. Like, I wouldn't say like 100% fluent, but I'd say like
Mm.
80.
Yeah.
And a lot of it is like I don't know exactly what I can't understand French exactly, but I can piece together like words and like
Yeah,
make the sentence out of it.
Exactly. Like if someone comes in and they say something like 14, I know that means like 14, so I'd be like, que pom numero or pom or que numero pom, some shit like that. The
Yeah.
way you word it, but they'll know what I'm saying, and then they'll give the number to me, and then